Next, I would like to create my Databricks environment, Azure Databricks environment. Okay, and I will create a notepad for transformation activity. So let's move to Azure Databricks environment, and here I would like to create Azure Databricks cluster, right? So I would like to select my resource group. So here the workspace name would be, I would like to keep the same workspace naming convention should be same. Okay, Databricks, and the other items I would like to leave as is. Now it's validation completed. Let's create. So it will take a while to configure my Databricks cluster, not cluster, the account. Thereafter we have to install the cluster, right? It will take a while. So now here my Databricks environment is get created, and let me launch the workspace similarly how we have launched for Azure Data Factory. So my Azure Databricks workspace is launching. Let's wait for, it will take a time. Yeah, so here if you can see, this is the initial page where we landed up once we launch the workspace. So here this is the workspace, and this is the compute. This is recently used created objects will show here. So let me click on workspace. Under workspace, if I click on workspace, show shared and user. So whatever the notebooks will create, that object will be stored here or under user. Fine. So, and here the main activity is what we have to do here to create the cluster. To create the cluster here, if you can see, all clusters are available, like all purpose compute cluster, job compute cluster, warehouse, right? So we have to create all purpose cluster. Now I would like to create all purpose cluster, which is basically created for development activity and all. So let me click on create cluster. We'll give a name like data transformation. Okay, on-prem data transformation, right? And I would like to delete this as is single user. So here I would like to select latest one. Okay, where 14 GB of memory and 4 core CPU is allocated, and termination time, if the system is ideal, then it would be terminated the cluster after 120 minutes. We can change this, so leave it as is. We can reduce this to 90 minutes if to you know reduce the cost. Anyway, let it be as is, and let me click on this advanced option, and now in advanced option I would like to create credential pass-through. So what is credential pass-through? Basically there is no connection between direct connection between Azure Data Factory to Azure storage account gen 2 account. Okay, so for that I would like to connect both the resources through credential pass-through user access level. So what basically it's mean, I have logged in my storage account. If you can see, if I go to my storage account, I have logged in through with my credential, this one, right, with my Gmail ID, and the similar I have also connected here with my Gmail ID, right? So this is what the credential pass through will work. So both the IDs are same, so it will allow to connect between each other. The connection is established between Azure Data Factory and sorry, Azure storage account and Databricks. Let me click this create cluster. So it will take a while to create the cluster. If you can see, cluster creation is in progress, so it will take a while. So now my cluster has been created, if you can see, and it is now running, right? Next, what I would like to do, I would like to create a notebook in my shared folder. Okay, add notebook. Fine. So instead of add notebook, what I would like to do, I have already created to reduce the this time, development time. So where I have already created these notebooks for this demo. Let me import. So let me import the first notebook. Similarly, I would like to import other two notebooks, which is from, I would like to copy data from bronze to silver, right? And next one is silver to gold. Yeah, this one. So now let me explain what I'm going to do here. So in first notepad, which is I have created to establish the connection between Azure storage account to my Azure Databricks environment, right? So this is called the mount point. So once we'll create an mount point, thereafter we no need to create every time this mount point. The connection is established between the container and the resource group or storage account. Okay, for this Databricks environment to my storage account, Gen2 account. So this is called mount point. So what I have configured for brown, similarly I have configured for silver, right? So this is one time activity, and I have configured for gold. So let me, so this code is already available in Microsoft site, Microsoft Azure site for mount point. So I have to just change the name. So let me take my storage account name. This is my storage account name. Copy here, and this is bronze. So my storage account is also in bronze, right? If you can see, bronze. So spelling is fine. So now let me execute this cell. Now it's executing. So now it's coming here and showing true, right? That means my connection is established. And if you want to see what are the files are there, we can run the other command. This is dbutils command, Databricks file system commands, which will show us. So I have executed this one, right? If you can see, so it's saying already mounted, right? So now if you can see, my all files are listed in bronze container, it's showing here. Fine. Similarly, I would like to mount for silver container, okay, and gold container. Now if you can see, I have configured both the mount points. For silver container, it's also coming true, and gold containers, it's also coming true. So I'm not able to list because there is no files in silver container, gold container. If you can see, this is empty, fine, and silver is also empty. So what I would like to do, I would like to transform and copy from bronze container, right? So now let me go to bronze to silver notebook. Open bronze to silver notebook. So here I have written few queries to see data is available or not. So we have already seen bronze container that files are listed. Silver, there is no containers, right? Sorry, there is no files. So here if you can see, from here I am copying, written a code to copy the data with transformation. So basically in transformation, what I am doing, I am taking all the table names from bronze container into table name list, okay, and then what I'm doing here, So one by one, what I am doing, I am transforming it, taking it in a data frame, and I'm transforming it to YYMMDD format, right? So if I select those tables, if I let me show you how the data is showing here so that it would be more clear. So this is what the files are, right? Silver, I don't have a files. So here what I would like just show you one table contain what exactly I would like to do. So this is I have taken into one variable. Now this is I would like to take in a data frame. I would like to read that into product table into this data frame, and once I will select from the data frame, so here data is showing from my product table, name product table, and here if you can see, if I come to the end, my date format is like this, right? Start date, DDMMYY, and timestamp. So I want to remove this timestamp and I would like to keep this up to DD, means date. So year, month, and date, right? This transformation what I would like to do for all the tables where the date column is available. So let me execute this one. This is taking into my data frame, right? So if you can see, if I select this one, I have selected for one table, that is address table, sorry, product table. So if I can see in this output, if you can see YYYYMMDD, what I have transformed, right? So earlier it was that, now it was this. So what I exactly want to do for all the tables, whatever the tables are available in bronze container, and copy into silver container, right? So this is basically caption we can mention here like this with markdown command %mg. This is called a magic command. So we can to identify what the below code is doing. So now let me execute this query. Fine. Execute this cell also. So before we have seen, now it's still running. Let it be run. So if I come to my silver container, this is my silver, right? Now there is no files, right? So if you can see, all the tables are copied. So my job is completed. This cell execution is completed, and all the tables are copied here. And that tables are copied in delta format. See, what is data format? So basically the delta format will contain the versioning management. So if we'll run this job again, it will not overwrite here, it will create another file here. Okay, so that is what delta feature of the delta format. So this is what we did. And next I would like to, this is silver to gold. Okay, so but this is also in the same way we can copy and overwrite as a delta format all the tables whatever available in my silver container. Okay, but now what I would like to do, I will not take manually run those one. I would like to create a pipeline. Let me show you the gold container. Now gold container is empty, right? I would like to create here the same pipeline which will create that notebook activity. Once we'll run this entire pipeline, so the data will be copied from on-prem system to gold container till gold container with transformations, right? So let me copy, take here. Now here I want to add a notebook from Databricks, and we'll execute those notebooks whatever available in our Databricks through Azure Data Factory pipeline. So before that, what I would like to do, I want to create a linked service, right? So let me create a linked service. So here if I Databricks, right? Let me click on this Azure Databricks. Here Azure, let it be same, and here what I would like to copy, select the subscription, and here if we the Databricks what I have created, right, that I want to select here, and here I have to connect this through access token. So what I would like to do to get access token, I want to go to my Databricks environment, click on user settings, and under developer, if you can see access token is there, right? So click on manage access token and generate access token. So this we need to copy. Once it will be closed, then it will not come again. So I have copied my access token here. So basically we can go by Azure Key Vault also. So currently I'm not going to in that. Basically that is the safe way to do that. We have to create the Azure Key Vault, and this credentials or passwords we have to save there, and that Key Vault name we can use here. So let me, so what I have given here my, so now we have placed all the parameters like linked service name. This is a integration runtime. So if you can see, two integration runtimes are available here. This is for on-prem system and this is for default one, which is we can connect in Azure resources. So Databricks is also Azure resource, so that's why we have to select this one. That is fine. And this is from the subscription what I have to choose in, and this is a Databricks cluster what I have created. So existing interactive cluster I have to create, select here because I have created a cluster, database cluster earlier. So the same cluster I would like to use, right? The same cluster, this one. So let me existing interactive cluster I have selected. So access token I have given here. Now here what I would like to give, I have to select the cluster name, right? So let me see an advanced options. It is not here. And let me cancel it, and it should automatically come. Let me see why it is not giving. Let me create one more time. So I have to go to and I have to select Azure Data Factory from compute. So I'm giving as is Data Factory name, link service name. So this is I have explained to I have to select the default one because that is default integration runtime I have to select for as Azure Databricks is a Azure object. Now here this is my cluster. Let me select this one, and here I would like to copy my key. Okay, what I have generated now, it's coming from choose from existing cluster. So this cluster what I have created. So let me click on test connection. Connection is successful. So let me create this one. So now my connection between Azure Databricks to Azure ADF, Azure Data Factory, has been established. Now what I would like to do, I want to go to the pipeline what I have created, right? And here let me minimize this. I have to drop. So if you can see there are uh, notebooks are available from under Databricks. So I would like to take this notebook activity here, and on the success of this data copy activity I want to give to my notebook, so that once it will success, then my Databricks activity should run. Fine. So let me 1 second. The other one is okay. Anyway, let me drag this and connect this. Fine. And if I go and notebook one, so I want to copy this as bronze to silver. Okay, and let me select here my Databricks. Okay, under settings, this is my Databricks workspace is showing, if you can see. So I have to select bronze to silver. Fine. And second notebook, what I would like to drag and drop here on success of first notebook. Fine. I would like to execute the second notebook. This is silver to gold. Okay. So similarly here I have to select my Databricks, then under settings, under shade folder, I have to select silver to gold, right? So this my entire pipeline is established now. So if I execute, the entire pipeline will run and copy the data from on-prem system to my bronze container to silver, and silver to gold. So if you can see, my bronze container is having data, right? And if I go to my silver container, I have already manually executed those notebooks, that notebook in Databricks environment, and I have copied, but I didn't execute gold container, right? Gold container is still empty. So once I'll execute this pipeline end to end, then I can copy the data from source to target, that is SQL server to gold container. So let me first publish all these changes. Okay, I think there is one notepad one is here, which I have to remove. So now I will publish all my changes. Now publish is completed, right? All the changes are published into my server. Now what I would like to do, I would write now trigger all this pipeline. Fine. Let me trigger. So now if you can see, my pipeline is getting executed. So this one is the previous one what is showing here. So once these all activities will be executed one by one, so here green tick will come for each activity. Okay. So if I want to see and monitor, if you can see, my pipeline is now executing. Fine. So first activity is executed. Now for loop for each activity is running, and notebook will run once it is successful, and once this notebook is successful, the next notebook will be executed. Now my last notebook is running. So it's also copying tables one by one in my gold container. If you can see, my all jobs are succeeded. So run is successful. See, my all activities has been completed successfully. Now if I come, and this is my gold container where values are not there earlier, tables. Now if I refresh this one, so if you can see, my all tables has been copied, right? So now we have completely executed this whole pipeline up to gold container stage 6, right? So all the data is reading from SQL Server through Azure Data Factory to Gen 2 account bronze container, then through Notepad with transformation, it is transformed and copied to silver container and silver to gold. And here if you can see my how my gold containers look like, data is look like. If I go to repository and if I select this one, this is a silver, right? Let me execute from silver. Okay, and if I select, now let me execute this cell so that we can see. So if you can see, these all column names are not separated, right? In sudo way it is there. But once we completed this activity, this copy activity, so what I'm doing here, so I'm taking that each uh, tables names and their column names into data frame, and that all columns I'm separating with hyphen. Fine. So if I come to my data source here, and if I, so basically it is, I think we are not able to see because this is in a delta format. Let me check. Yeah, so it's not visible. So in next section, when we are going to create a view with Synapse Analytics, and when we will select the columns and their values there we can see how the transformation is done. Or we can see, if you can see here, all the data is there in this way, right? So there is no issue at all. So if we want to execute this manually also, there will not be any impact on the data or the cluster already copied in gold container, because it is, I'm using here overwrite option, right? So whatever the data is there in silver container, it will take from there and copy into my silver container. So here how my silver containers data will look like. If you can see, one by one tables are copied again, and if I select or run this cell, so just for viewing purpose, if you can see, all my column names are separated with underscore. This is what the transformation I did. Fine. Thanks for watching.